Hi, welcome to Sort of the Podcast. I'm KD. Let's get the show started. Before I get the show started, every minute, every day, every hour, every second, try to happen in the world today. We gotta take care of one another. There's a lot that's going on in the world, so I'm gonna get right into it. A lot of people, if not, have heard about a lot of power outage that's going around right now, and it's scaring a lot of people. And what have, as of late, this world, when it comes to technology and social media and phones and all these things, the thing is, if something did happen to the grid, power outage, things in that nature, like, how would you react? A long time ago, talked about if things did take place or go to the extent, what would it take for people to know and learn to, we need one another. It's going to be some people that don't have the resources. It's going to come down to, if it happens, continuously happen, it's going to be about, who you know, how far is your reach, and how can you really help with everything that's going down. And right now, people are panicking where they are when it comes to this power outage. So I'm going to play this clip. So it's CBS 19.
There's been a massive power outage in parts of Spain, Portugal, and France, affecting tens of millions of people. Train stations have been plunged into darkness, airports are at a standstill, and streetlights are out, leading to major traffic issues. The Portuguese grid operator said a rare atmospheric issue that affected the Spanish electrical system led to the outage. At tennis's Madrid Open, American star Coco Gauff's post-match interview was cut off by that blackout.
It feels like you're getting better and better with each match. Is that
So
what it feels like to you as
it's
well?
very unfortunate that is going on with that, with the power outage in those particular location. It's going to affect a lot of people. Has affected a lot of people. They say tens of millions of people, and the reaction to that, it's going to be massive. It's going to be very massive. So at the end,
the outage started just after noon local time. Power has slowly started coming back throughout the region, but officials say it could be a week before everything is fully restored.
Tens of millions. But some people say, well, it ain't me. I don't care anything about that. You're entitled to that as well. But at the end of the day, what if it was? What if it's people that you know and love that's going through such a crisis of that magnitude? Like, what would you do? How would you help them? How would you get them? How would you get to them and find them? There's some that have those survival techniques and those skills to get through a storm, like I like to say. But at the end of the day, we are all connected. One way or another, we have some that don't care about, they are entitled what they want as far as energy-wise and how they go about this life that they have. But at the end, it's getting to a point, man, that you either helping or, in the way. You're either helping or you're in the way. More cuts, and this is to a different magnitude when it comes to the institution in corporate America, UPS. It's on my radar, and there's a lot more cuts that's happening with them.
Well, UPS says it now expects to cut at least 20,000 jobs this year. The shipping service made the announcement today in its first quarter earnings report. UPS also says it anticipates on closing over 70 leased and owned buildings by the end of June. The decision comes after UPS previously reached a deal with Amazon to lower the amount of shipments it handles. Well, UPS said...
Yeah, I'm wondering what's going on when it comes to certain packages. I've been hearing people talk about people leaving their packages at the very entrance of their residence buildings or whatever the case may be, not even at their proper location. They're just dropping them off, just going about it. So I don't know if people are getting tired, they're getting overworked. Most likely they are. They're saying they're going to release 20,000 some odd people and close it down several locations. Like, what is happening right in front of our faces, and people who are in need of help, and where they're going to, or where they're getting it from. It's only by so many outlets or resources that can actually help you. There are people that are entrepreneurs that's been helping, will continue to help, looking to help in all communities. Doesn't matter where you're from or where you are. It just all depends on what you want. Some people are learning that their egos and their pride are in their way, respectfully, to getting things done that they need done. And once people do that and get from that high horse, for the lack of a term, things could definitely be better off for you and your loved ones and everyone around you. And it's getting very critical out here, and a very fast pace. At a very, very fast pace. It's another instances that's taking place. They said the federal government, they busted a $4 million marriage fraud ring. What's going on over there? That's from WMAR2 News Baltimore.
A fake marriage operation has been exposed, and it was happening right here in Maryland, which could have cost the U.S. immigration system millions. It's called Operation Bargain Brides, and investigators say it exposed a ring of scammers who coached U.S. citizens into fake marriages with foreign nationals. The goal was to obtain green cards and charge up to $40,000 per marriage. Officials say 4 people ran the operation, raking in about $4 million. Over 100 fake marriages were uncovered, and more than 120 immigration petitions were denied. Just yesterday, 10 foreign nationals were arrested.
This is not a victimless crime. Marriage fraud compromises the integrity of our immigration system, it diverts critical resources, and it erodes public trust in a process that countless others follow legally and in good faith.
USCIS says this case started with suspicious interviews right here in Baltimore. They're warning if anyone tries to cheat the system, they will get caught. Officials are urging anyone with tips to come forward.
Cheat the system, it's, like I said, people are surviving, and they're just doing what they feel as though they need to, get done to survive and eat and feed their loved ones. So you have people out here that are that were once, upon a time, maybe, possibly there in that mental state, as far as what needed to be done. It felt like survival mode or technique. There's other ways to doing things that it's not about what they say. It's not about what you do. It's how you do it. It's about how you do it. And I don't knock anyone. That's the best way, if you like it, I love it for you. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to try something else and you're tired of your way or the highway, there's other ways of doing things. And at the end of the day, this is where we are. And what tends to happen is the more each day, every hour, every second, every week, people get closer and closer together of, running out of options. And, people right in front of you that can actually help all around you. Now, if you put your egos and to the side, things can get done. And we, get money together and go about it the right way. So it's been a lot going on. And also, it's going on like more than 100 detained in the DEA. They raided an illegal underground nightclub agency. That's what they said.
The Drug Enforcement Administration says more than 200 people crowded into an event space in Colorado Springs Saturday night. Agents say by early morning Sunday, around half of those attendees had left in handcuffs. One of them was Jose Dominguez.
Tonight I was just partying with a fellow group of my friends.
He says how his night started was far from how it ended. Dominguez says law enforcement broke up the party and evacuated the building.
From there, we were escorted down with handcuffs, making sure that we were U.S. residents.
He says he was released once he verified his citizenship.
My assurance is that I was a U.S. resident. They ran my record, made sure that I had no criminal record history, and then from there they just let me go as if nothing happened.
The same couldn't be said for everyone. The DEA says ICE took more than 100 people in the country without authorization into their custody. Agents say they've been tracking illegal activity at this property for months, including violent crimes.
That's the part that's mind-blowing.
According to the owner of the building, the most recent tenant's lease began in January and was set to end this month.
It's shocking to me to find out what they were doing here. I had no idea. And it's shocking to me the level and the scale that was happening.
The DEA says investigators noticed members from Tren de Aragua, MS-13, and Hells Angels attending the club. We've asked the DEA if they can share more information about the identities of those possible gang members. They declined to do so. The DEA says more than a dozen active duty military were also either attending the party or working as security. The Army Criminal Investigation Division is working with the DEA to determine next steps for those people. Janelle.
Yeah, they was obviously being targeted for the activities that was done at that commercial property. So at the end, it's a way of doing things there as well. And like I said, even going back to the merge and fraud, the very unique thing about that, they say it was 4 people that was organizing that organization, enterprise, and they made a lot of money. The way they did it, or the way they did it was wrong in the people's eyes, so that's why they got in trouble, right? But at the end, 4 people to make things happen, to organizing or structure certain things for those who follow and go through guidelines and things of that nature. And with the nightclub, it doesn't matter what institution you are in, there's a lot that's taking place, and if things are not done correctly, they are not holding back. They are definitely coming after you, and some people don't care. A lot of people not caring about the consequences behind the decisions that they're making, and these are the results of that decision. These are the results of their decision. Have y'all heard about the they having something going on with the rent? They're raising rent, or they reached a deal for capping rent increases.
Lawmakers, as things start to wrap up, is rent stabilization. Last night, a deal was reached on a hotly contested legislation to annually cap rent increases. As we previously reported, House Bill 1217 passed out of the lower chamber with a 7% cap on rent increases. But some concerned Democrats in the Senate bumped it up to 10% plus inflation. A handful of lawmakers from the House and Senate worked on a compromise in which annual increases would be capped at the lesser of 10% or 7% plus inflation, with limited exceptions. The cap and other provisions under this bill would expire in 15 years. Rent increases for manufactured and mobile home renters would be capped at a 5% a year with no expiration date. Democratic lawmakers who worked on the compromise say while they wish they didn't have to increase the cap, this is a first step in the right direction for renters.
On the whole, this bill will provide meaningful protections for Washingtonians and predictability, which for folks that are renting and don't know what those rent increases will be, knowing and having that consistency and that predictability, I think is going to provide a lot of relief for people.
Republicans have been staunchly opposed to the legislation, regardless of how high the increase cap goes. They've consistently raised concerns that limiting rent increases an overreach that'll hurt housing supply and disregards landlords.
I do believe that the policy that's before me tonight is going to be devastating for our housing providers, and we need housing providers to be a part of the solution in the housing crisis that we have.
The compromise will still have to be voted on by both chambers sometime this weekend. It's unclear how the changes will impact those Senate Democrats who advocated for a higher cap out of concern. Also casting a shadow is what Governor Ferguson could do here. He declined to tell reporters where he stands on this bill, saying he's having conversations with all lawmakers about their concerns and letting the process play out. Lawmakers, as things start to...
It's definitely a process in what's going on in the federal, and as far as the budgeting. some people are wondering what's going to take place. They just wait and see. Like you said, let the process play itself out. People are waiting. A lot of people are waiting on what's going to happen next and being told what to do next. When it comes to the housing and even with the latest news, when with the commanders, they're going to offer housing and things of that nature. Now they're talking about the capping of the housing. It's a lot going on. So even within that industry, its approach is going to have to be different. That market is going to be different. People have to find another way, for the most part, on getting things done when it comes to this housing. It's opportunities out here. There are programs, not many, but it's enough programs out there that are reachable. They are just surface level right now, and people are just searching for that type of information. I have a few more I'd like to get to you all's attention. It's a popular vacuum that's being recalled right now due to fire concerns. A vacuum. Yeah, we talking about a vacuum.
Now has the details of a recall where the recommendation for 2 stick vacs is, hey, just stop using it immediately and really get it out of your house, like now.
It's been nearly 24 reports of these vacuums smoking, igniting, melting, and overheating, with at least 10 reports of fires.
The CPSC says the InSay stick vacuums were sold on Amazon from May 2020 to this January. They were about $170. Let me give you the models again. It's the InSay S6P Pro and the S6T models. Both contain lithium-ion batteries. Now, because of that, you can't just throw them in the garbage. You need to follow the hazardous waste disposal rules in your area.
Part of the appeal of these InSay vacuums and other lesser-known brands is that they can cost hundreds of dollars less than vacuums from more well-known brands.
Now, even if you don't own one of the defective cordless vacs, any device with a lithium-ion battery needs to be stored in a cool, dry place. It needs to be away from heat and sunlight. And this is really key. You need to always use the charger that comes with the product for that battery. Now, if you need to replace your vacuum, Consumer Reports has 2 top picks that are in that stick vac family. CR's test found that this Shark Stratus is just as impressive on bare floors, getting at dirt in corners, and sucking up pet hair as cordless models that cost twice the price. This vacuum is about $300. If you don't mind being tethered to a cord, we've got another corded stick vacuum to show you, also from Shark. It performs nearly as well as the others. This is called the Shark Stratus, or we're going to see the other one. That's about $170.
Yeah, these products, I mean, things happen, right? Things happen. But trial and errors, and if something works, things do happen, like I stated. But how often is happening of this magnitude? It's 10 reports, as she said, that's out there catching on fire. So that's a defect. So I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and go about it. But it needs to be fixed. And from her words, she's saying get it out of your house ASAP. So if you have that type of product, be mindful. Check into it. It was NC S6T. Put it down in the description below after this broadcast go out. Before I get to some more things that's on my radar to bring to y'all's attention, the data breach kind of, no, I wasn't gonna say died down. It hasn't. It's still once again on a surface type level. Things are just happening when it comes to the information that are out there. They're saying that Blue Shield exposed 4.7 million patients' health data to Google. That was from Fox News. Let me read briefly about what's going on with that and how they approach. Might have a video for you all to play. Let me see.
Facebook friend request could lead to a hacker's trap. Facebook, right? Minding your own business, and then bam, a friend request from someone you don't quite remember pops up. Well, could it be a new connection, or could it be something a lot more dangerous? Hackers love using fake profiles to get access to your info. And so what's the harm, you ask? Well, once accepted, they can start digging for personal information, stuff like your email, phone number, even details about your work or family. From there, things get spiraling out of control. Now, here's how the trap works. Once they've got some info, they try the next step, email phishing. You might get a bogus message that seems legit, like, hey, your account's been compromised. Click this link to fix it. So how do you protect yourself from falling for this? Here are a few simple tips. Number one, be cautious with friend requests from people you don't know. If it seems too random, it may not be safe. Make sure your social media accounts are locked down with strong, unique passwords and two-factor authentication. It's like adding an extra lock on the door. Now, if someone reaches out to you on Facebook asking for personal info or money, whoa, pause. Verify the source before clicking any links. Now, ask yourself this one question. Did I ask for this? If you can't answer yes, don't click anything. The best way to safeguard yourself from malicious links is to install really good antivirus protection on your devices. They'll make those links null. And if something simply feels off, trust your gut. More quick tips like this at cyberguy.com. If you're not getting my newsletter already, click the red button and get it for free.
Yeah, that's what they call him, Cyber Guy, but in that brief instances. But at the end, it's mostly like, but in the latest news, the healthcare insurance giant Blue Shield of California confirmed that it had been sharing private health data of 4.7 million users with Google for 3 years without even realizing it. As Blue Shield of California just admitted to a major data privacy slip that went on for like almost 3 years, from April of 2021 to January of 2024. It was using Google Analytics to track how people use its member website. This is a total normal service. It's a total normal since every business does it. But the tool was accidentally sharing sensitive information with Google Ads because it wasn't set up properly. And then they go on about what they may have taken from you. The lines of they share data including a broad array of protecting health information, including name, zip code, gender, medical claim, dates, online account numbers, insurance plan names, group numbers, family data, and even search criteria used in its Find a Doctor feature. It's a statement. Google may have used this data to conduct focused ad campaigns back to those individual members. We want to reassure our members that no bad actor was involved, and to our knowledge, Google has not used the information for any purpose other than these ads or shared to protect the information with anyone, the company said in a notice on its website. This incident is not isolated. Over the past few years, healthcare and tech companies have come under scrutiny for similar missteps. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC, and the Department of Health and Human Services have already issued warnings about the use of the tracking technologies in healthcare, especially those that might expose patients' data to third parties without transparency or safeguard. Google spokesman provided the following comment to Cyber Guy early in this video. That's what he was stating when asked about the Blue Shield data breach. Business, not Google, manage the data they collect and must inform users about its collection and use by default. Any data sent to the Google Analytics for measurement does not identify individuals, and we have a strict policy against collecting private health information or advertising based on sensitive information. Since the data was only shared with Google and not on any other party, the overall risk is relatively low. Apart from the clear privacy violation, it's highly unlikely that anyone else will gain access to it, allegedly. So the chances of the data being misused are slim. Google says it doesn't allow ads to be served based on sensitivity information like health. So there's a good chance your data wasn't even used for advertising. Blue Shield case follows a string of similar breaches. Companies like GoodRx, BetterHelp, and Kaiser have all faced regulatory and legal consequences for sharing sensitive user data with advertising vendors. Some even settle for millions of dollars despite the risk. Many healthcare organizations have continued using these tools due to the lack of clear regulatory guardrails, and situations complicated further by a federal court ruling that the Biden administration attempts to curb the use of the online trackers in healthcare settings. So wow. Yeah, that's what else is on my radar, but it's very unfortunate because these companies, corporate America, these institutions, they pretty much are okay with whatever take place. Yes, of course, most not going to admit any wrongdoing, but then on the other note, they are paying out millions of dollars. So just be mindful of what's going on. And like he stated, these friend requests has been going on for a while. People, similar relative profile pictures. Some people, you would think that, they just got another account. They just made a new one. Like, how many new accounts you going to make? It's like, well, I already followed you one or two of your profiles. This is your third, fourth, fifth one. Yeah, people just gotta be mindful. Things are right in front of them, and excuse me, they just going about their day like a typical day, and all it takes is a push of a button, and your life could change in the blink of an eye, right in front of you. And you start wondering what's going on, why this, why that, and all these other factors. Before, if I do one more, sure appreciate everyone continuing to support this platform for viewing it. On this platform, if you are on YouTube or X, wherever else platform you watch this on. If you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate it. Share with everyone. Should be a link in the bio. As far as these merch, it's another way that you can continue to support this platform. Also, items that you can choose from, for yourself or someone that you might know that knows this platform just can't get to the merch itself, or you can purchase one for them. I sure appreciate it. If you're a gamer looking to game and get in tournaments, or you're looking to do your own, we help structure that for you as well. Need advertising and marketing, does that as well. If you are an artist or a business itself that just need more awareness to what you have going on, so if the media can help you with that as well. However you feel comfortable, should be contact information, mostly via email, but check out the page. That would be So Get the Media, So Get the KD, So Get the Promotions. If you're trying to model that's looking to get in that type of industry, So Get the model agency can definitely help you with that as well. Someone will surely get back with you on that. But for this week show, I just would like for everyone to be mindful of what's being done around you. If you focus on your tasks, your goals that you see for yourself and your loved ones, focus on that. Continues to do so, but just be mindful. It's a lot of things that's taking place in the world today, and for the most part, it's right in front of you, and you are entitled to believe what you want. But when you come across or you have people in your circle, family, whatever, colleagues, worker, friends, let's just get back to listening to each other's perspective. No matter how far-fetched or how they say crazy it may seem, As I say, it could be a blessing in disguise right in front of you. You know, it could be some answer that you've been praying for or just thinking about that you need it. It could be right there for you all too, or for you and the individual to actually connect to get things done. But shit, people miss opportunities. They don't see the value that's right in front of them. So I surely appreciate everyone for continuing to support this platform. Be safe, love, cherish one another. Everything will be all right. This So Get a Podcast. It's KD. Have a good one.